like brothers with all the miles and time we spent together. Yeah, we've seen it all. We've both seen changes in our time, busted dreams and detour signs. We keep rolling on. Brother Highway, we've seen it all.
Hey there, fellow wanderers, and welcome back to the Wandering Gypsy RV Life podcast, where the road is long, the coffee is hot, and the stories are always real. I'm your host, Stan Cromlish, coming to you from the co-pilot seat of my trusty Tiffin Allegro open road 34 PA Birdie B with Rosie faithfully in tow. Today, I want to take you along on a little journey I've been on these past couple of weeks, share some stories from the road, and talk a bit about my new book, Rolling Smooth, How to Enjoy the RV Life Without Losing Your Cool. Because if there's one thing I've learned in this lifestyle, it's that the road teaches you, sometimes with open arms, sometimes with a swift kick to the shins. But either way, there's always a lesson worth sharing. So let's rewind to August 20th. I was pulling out of Kickback Ranch and Event Center in Raymer, Alabama, one of my favorite little launch pads, headed towards Cherokee, North Carolina. Birdie B was humming along and Rosie was faithfully in tow behind me. The day was bright, the road stretched ahead, and life was good, at least until I got to Norcross, Georgia. Now here's the thing. When you're traveling near Atlanta, campground options can be slim. So I booked a night at Jones RV Park. Sounds nice, right? Wrong. Let me paint the picture. The RV park turned out to be more like a mobile home complex with cracked up roads and instructions that made about as much sense as a screen door on a submarine. I rolled in about 3:30, and guess what? The office was closed. No map. No welcome. No, howdy, glad you're here. Just a cryptic set of directions that had me driving Birdie B and Rosie straight into a dead end. So there I was, unhooking Rosie in the Georgia heat, just so I could get turned around. Not exactly the warm welcome I was hoping for. Eventually, I found my way to my site, got Birdie B settled, and by 4:15, I had the slides out and the air conditioner humming. Moral of the story, if you need a campground near Atlanta, well, Jones RV Park wouldn't be my first recommendation. But hey, sometimes it's about survival, not luxury. The next morning, rolled out and pointed north toward the Cherokee Great Smoky Mountains KOA holiday. Now that's a different story, and I've stayed here a few times. I met up with Mike and Rowdy for what was shaping up to be a great weekend. Friday, we had a fishing trip lined up with River's Edge Outfitters. Our guides were Joy and Amy, and let me tell you, they worked hard for us. The fishing was tough, the temps were hot, but they still managed to put us on some trout. And you know what? Even when the fish aren't biting, there's something about standing in a mountain stream with friends. The water rushing around your legs, the Smoky Mountains at your back. That's soul medicine right there. After fishing, we switched things up and made a run to Harrah's Cherokee Casino. I never go in with big expectations, but sometimes the cards fall your way. Let's just say I walked out with a little extra jingle in my pocket after a good run at the poker table. Not bad for a day's work. Saturday rolled around, it was time for something special. The chili cook-off at the KOA. Now, if you've been listening to the podcast, you know all about management's secret chili recipe, handed down from my mother, a.k.a. management. Well, I entered that championship chili, stirred it with pride, and guess what? Took second place. Not too shabby, considering the competition. Management would be proud. It was one of those weekends that fills the tank. Not just the gas tank in Birdie B, but my soul tank too. Sunday morning, time to move again. Headed out towards Chattanooga for a 3-day stop. That's where the road and work met in perfect harmony. I set up camp and dug into building my Patreon site, editing the video from my interview with Ned Ledoux. That conversation with Ned, man, it does stick with me. The way he talks about music, about his father Chris, about life on the road, it all ties right into why I started the Wandering Gypsy RV life in the first place. I clipped out a few moments that really hit me in the heart and shared them online. And I spent some time working on new blog posts to go alongside the video. Those 3 days in Chattanooga were a reminder that RV life isn't just about movement. It's about creating space to reflect, to work, and to share the stories that matter. And all too soon, Wednesday rolled around and it was time to roll again. This time towards Mountain Cove Farms for the 11th Annual Mountain Cove Cowboy and Cowgirl Reunion. This is one of those gatherings that feeds my spirit. Marlon, Doug, Sid, and a whole crew of rodeo cowboys and cowgirls. The kind of people who live hard, laugh loud, and tell stories around a campfire like nobody else. That's what I love about this lifestyle. Every stop has its own flavor. Sometimes it's a busted campground in Norcross, Georgia. Sometimes it's trout and Cherokee. Sometimes it's poker chips in your pocket or a ribbon from a chili cook-off. And sometimes it's simply sitting under the stars, swapping stories with friends who know what it means to ride the long road. Which brings me back to my book, Rolling Smooth: How to Enjoy the RV Life Without Losing Your Cool. When I first started out in this lifestyle back in 2020, I was green as grass, or as cowboys say, I was one heck of a greenhorn. I didn't know a water pump from a generator, or how to manage 30 amp power without tripping a breaker. Every day seemed like a crash course in RV 101. And I'll be honest with you, it was overwhelming. There were moments where I wondered if I'd bitten off more than I could chew. But little by little, I learned. Sometimes the hard way, sometimes by asking questions around the campfire, and sometimes by just trial and error until I got it right. That's why I wrote Rolling Smooth. I wanted to give other folks a starting point, to help you avoid some of the mistakes I made, to show you that it's okay to feel lost at first, and to remind you that this lifestyle isn't about having all the answers. It's about learning as you go and not losing your cool when things don't go according to plan. It's not a technical manual, and it's not a diary either. It's a roadmap to the basics: power, water tanks, and the little things that can make or break your trip. But most of all, it's encouragement. Because this lifestyle can be one of the most rewarding things you'll ever do if you give yourself the grace to grow into it. So if you're just starting out, or if you've been at it for years and just need a refresher, I hope you'll check it out. Rolling Smooth is available now on Amazon, and I think it'll be a good companion for your own journey. So that's where the road has taken me these past few weeks, through potholes and poker tables, trout streams and chili cook-offs, to a reunion of cowboys and cowgirls who remind me what it means to belong. Thanks for riding along with me. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow wanderer. You can find more stories, photos, and videos at wanderinggypsyrvlife.com. And if you'd like some behind-the-scenes extra, including that video with Ned Ledoux, head over to Patreon and join my campfire circle. And before I sign off, I want to give a quick shout out to a few folks who help keep this podcast rolling. Techno RV, they've been my go-to for RV gear, from water filtration to GPS and everything in between. You can find their products through my affiliate link at technorv.com. Trust me, they'll help you adventure more and worry less. My Patreon community, You're the heart of the Wandering Gypsy RV Life Campfire Circle. If you'd like to get video episodes, bonus stories, and behind-the-scenes content, come join us. And finally, my good friend, Doug Simcox, and his podcast, Beyond the Chutes. If you love rodeo history, cowboy storytelling, and the legends of the arena, you'll want to give it a listen. Doug brings the past to life in a way that makes you feel like you're right there behind the chutes. Until next time, keep your rig rolling smooth, keep your coffee hot, and remember, sometimes the best roads are the ones the GPS won't even show you. And not all who wander are lost.
Brother Highway, we've seen it all. Through the wind and the rain and the snowfall. And no matter how far out I roam, I need you, brother, to get me home.